Guys and girls, welcome back to Watch the Time. So I'm really pleased to be able to bring you this watch. It's a homage of the Rolex Milgauss. You may remember I featured a homage of this watch. It was a Benya. It was some time ago. Please head over and see the video, but don't judge me because it was quite early on in my journey. I'm not saying I'm perfect now, but the video is hard to watch. I tried. I didn't make it through the whole video. But yeah, this is the PD-1733. It's one that I needed to get in. Really like the look of it. Most people are going to be reviewing the blue dial. I've gone for the other dial just because I think that it's a bit different. I like the accents and the hand, the indices and stuff like that. So I think it really looks really cool. They're bringing out so many different iterations of, because I think the case is pretty much the same with all these watches, but they're bringing out different sort of dial and they're homaging loads of different Rolexes. But will this one be a keeper? Will this one be one that you want? I'm really sorry I couldn't bring it to you during the sale. I've been trying to, as you would have seen during the sale, I've got out quite a few videos, but it didn't land on my doorstep in time. So yeah, here it is. But I do appreciate you tuning back in. I hope you like the watch. And with that being said, let's get the camera turned around and get on with it. Hi guys and girls, so this is the watch. As I said, it's the PD-1733 in my intro. Again, different packaging. This is probably my favourite packaging they offer quite often because the magnet fouls and comes out and it doesn't close anymore. Or I've had many that have arrived that don't, in a foam cushion as you normally get, blue cleaning cloth. Let me get the stuff out from the side. Yeah, guarantee card, instruction manual. You've probably seen this multiple times now. Let me just take out, I've got a screwdriver and I've taken out 3 links for it to fit my wrist, screw pins as well, and the obligatory screwdriver they give out with their watches. And let me just get in a cushion that you normally get to keep it safe in transit. But that's the box, guys. Let's get rid of that very quickly. Let's not mess about. So this is the watch. There is another variation. They've got the sort of like a blue dial. That's sort of very similar to the Benya that I reviewed quite some time ago. So I wanted to get something in a little bit different from that. And I do like their sort of orange accents with the black dial and stuff. I think there's a lot of contrast going on. Suffice to say, there's no points of originality here. Obviously, it's a Rolex Milgauss homage. But there we are. So yeah, again, the model number is the PD-1733. Inside, it's running a Seiko NH35 movement. Yeah, 24 joules, 21,600 beats per hour. Real workhorse of a movement. Not a high beat movement, but this movement I've had in, I've lost count, to be honest, and how many watches I've had this movement in now, and it's bang on. There's never an issue with it. I've never had one that doesn't run easily within parameters, and normally at least half better than that. So yeah, can't complain about the movement. Good movement for the price. Inside, the construction of the watch, aside from the crystal, is all 316L stainless steel. So that's the high polished bezel, the case, which is brushed on the top, polished at the sides, crown, the case back, which is predominantly brushed. You've got a little inner part that is polished, but not really. Most of it is just brushed. You got the bracelet, which is brushed on the top, polished at the sides, and also, as I mentioned before, it's got screw pins. The clasp, which is one of my least favourite clasps, really, but yeah, it's brushed at the top, polished at the sides. It is fully milled. My main gripe with it normally is the trying to get to the micro adjustment inside. It's a real pain in you know what. But yeah, that's the construction. So for all 316L stainless steel throughout, and as I say, mixture of brushing and polishing. The case thickness of this watch is 11.8 millimeters. Put my teeth back in. The case diameter, when you go from the 8 to the 2, which is where I normally measure, is coming at a 40.4 millimeters. And when you go from the 9 to the 3, including the crown, obviously when it's screwed up, it comes in at 42.6 millimeters. The lug width on this is 20. That does taper down to 16 mil and back up to 18 millimeters at the clasp. And the lug to lug, tip to tip, is 49.2 millimeters. Unfortunately, that does become 51.9 millimeters because it does have male end links of the center link. So just bear that in mind. It does sort of wear quite big. It doesn't have much downward turn at the lugs either, so it does wear a little bit big. So just bear that in mind. The case back, as I've already shown you, I'll give you a little bit more of a look now. It is screwed down. Turn it around this way so you can have a read. It's just got some writing on there, just outlining Pagani Design. The model number, which is what they normally put on there, as you can see, PD-1733. Yeah, screwed down. No real reason to have to open it up unless you want to sort of regulate the movement, I suppose, but I'm not going to be doing that. But yeah, that's the case back. The bezel, as I've already mentioned, is a high polished fixed bezel, and the crown is situated at the 3 o'clock. It is a screw down crown. This crown stem is probably about as perfect as you get. You can see a little bit of bounce, comes away nicely when you unscrew it. When you screw it back up, there's no issues either, but I'll leave it unscrewed just for now, and it is deep etched with the Pagani Design logo on there, so which is cool. The bracelet, as I said, it does taper by 4mm, brushed at the tops, polished at the sides, screw pins. Then you've got the same on the clasp, and as I said, the clasp isn't one of my favourites. It's signed safety catch, and this is one they use quite often. I'm hoping they start to go away from this clasp, just because I'm not a big fan. And the biggest part of it is for me as well was just a micro adjustment. As I've said, just it's a nightmare to try and deal with from my experience. The crystal covering the dial is sapphire crystal. It looks like a single domed, and it is quite nice because they've got that green ring going around the outer edge, very much like the watch is homaging. And the water resistance is cited as being 100 meters. That'll give you 10 atmospheres of water resistance, but just bear in mind that isn't going to be certified. So, but with the crystal being seated as it is, the crown being screwed down and the case back being screwed down, I wouldn't mind getting this wet, but that's just personal. The weight will appear in the top right hand corner. It's just under 137 grams with 3 links removed. With those 3 links back in, you're probably pushing 150 grams, which for the dimensions and stuff is probably about right, given it's not a small dress watch. So yeah, quite a lot of material used. So yeah, almost 150 with all links in. But anyway, let's have a look at the dial now, guys, in a bit more detail. So you've got a minute track going around the outer edge. You got every 5, you've got to count up or count down in 5, whichever you want to do. That's in orange, again, to help with the sort of variation with the color they use with the orange. I do like that. Inside that, everything is applied. You've got an inverted triangle at the 12, battens everywhere else. At you got obviously the triangle. Let me just take the crown out, actually. Let me move it just a slight bit. There we go. The inverted triangle at the 12, as are the battens at the 3, 6, and 9, are all orange. And the lightning second hand, which is quite synonymous with the watch's homaging, is also that colour, which I think offers a nice bit of contrast along with the white battens everywhere else. Just below the inverted triangle at the 12, you've got Pagani Design logo applied, and automatic just above the indices at the 6, which is printed on. I like in terms of what they've done. I think they've nailed it in terms of how clean the dial is. Very, very clean, no problems there at all. Looks the business. Very happy that they've gone not too much on the dial. Less is more for me when it comes to the dial. We don't want war and peace, so that's really cool. There is loom on the watch as well. I'll bring that up now. Yeah, not much to say about the loom, to be honest. Again, I'm really hoping at some point Pagani Design turn a corner with their loom, but that corner hasn't been turned with this watch, unfortunately. So that's the loom. As I said, Seiko NH35 movement. The crown's already unscrewed, so you can wind it to give it a bit of charge. You take it out to the first position. Unfortunately, there is a ghost position, and you can hear the date. Take it all the way out. It will hack, and then as you said, you put it all the way back in, it will start moving again. The crown on there has been buttery smooth, no issues with the engagement on there. I've had quite a bit of engagement given I've been wearing it for a while, and the watch has been running sort of 8 seconds fast, so I'll take that. I'm not gonna all day long, I'll take that. But that's the dial, guys. Sort of matte black dial with all the other colours going on. It looks nice. As I say, the blue dial is going to be one that probably is going to capture the imagination a bit more. But given I featured a Benya with that sort of colourways, I wanted to get this one in. But anyway, let me just pop on the wrist quickly, guys. Give you an idea of what it looks like on my wrist. My wrist is just above a 7-inch wrist for your reference. As you would have seen earlier, I have had to take 3 links out for it to fit my wrist. And before you ask, no, I haven't adjusted it through the micro adjustment, just because I find it to be a right pain in the jacksie. So there we go. That's what it looks like on my wrist. Mixture of brushing and polishing. Nice high polished bezel, which plays with the light nicely. And different colours on the dial, looking pretty cool. Yeah, wears nicely. I probably could have done with 1 level of micro adjustment for it to fit my wrist as I would like. But I'm not going to keep going on about it, am I? Because you know my feelings on this clasp when it comes to the micro adjustment. But anyway, Let me just give it another quick wipe. So then what we're going to do now is we're going to get on with the things that we think are what I think are pants and pucker about the watch. I always start with pants. I like to go high with pucker. So what I think is pants is, yeah, the loom. Come on, Pagani, please. Like the dial, nice and clean. Yeah, looks cool. Yeah, please. Can we really like get on, sort this loom out now? Just spend a few pennies more, and people will be very, very happy, because the loom on it is just, it's not up to snuff. The ghost position on the movement, again, they offer so many watches now with no date. They could just invest in NH38. Surely that would be so prudent at this point, given how many they produce. The male end links, I wasn't going to talk about it, but it is a bit of a problem. If they had female end links, it would wear so much nicer. Yeah, I would much rather than put female end links on this. A bit too long, coming in at sort of 50, just was it 52 mil? Yeah, a bit too long then for this dress watch. And the clasp, yeah, I'm not going to say too much, because you know my feelings. I think the clasp is okay, but the micro adjustment is just whack, not good at all. So just to surmise what I think is pants, is I'll go with the loom, the ghost position on the movement, the male end links, and the clasp. What I think is pants. What I think is pucker, yeah, the hands and indices, that is a given. I think that's the real star with this watch, if I'm honest. I think it just really looks really nice. Don't get me wrong, it's not an original design, but I do still think it looks really cool. Sapphire crystal, yeah, no point for guessing I was going to say that. The clean dial, as I mentioned, the fact that it looks as it does, I like that. Like I said, logo at the 12, automatic down at the 6, boom, job's a good one, and I think that's the way to go. The finishing, as I've said a couple of times now, with their brushing and brushing and polishing, I do think it's gone up a level. It looks very, very smooth, very satiny, polished at the sides. And as I say, with the polishing, if it wasn't for fingerprints, you'd see my reflection pretty clearly, because the polishing is done great. And just the aesthetic, I can see why a lot of people like the Milgauss, the Rolex Milgauss. So a homage of it it seems like a good idea, to be honest. The subby homage seems to get homage to death. So another one being homaged is a bit different. I'm there for that. I think that's a good one. So yeah, the aesthetic. So just to surmise what I think is pucker, is I'll go with the hands and indices. I'll go with the sapphire crystal, the clean dial, the finishing, and the aesthetic are what I think is pucker. And would I recommend the watch? It's not blown me away, given a couple of the things that I mentioned. The loom being a big one, and the male end links and clasp. If they were to sort of adjust those things, I think this is a banging watch. I probably would still recommend it. But the main thing, really, if there was one thing I wanted them to change, even the micro adjustment does my nut in, I would change the loom. Please. For a long time, your hands were a problem being too short. That seems to have been rectified. Let's go for better loom, please, Pagani. Let's make that happen. So, yeah, still recommend it. If I was to do a score out of 10, I'd probably go about an 8, because it's decent, very decent for the price. But yeah, just a couple of little things I would change. But guys and girls, please let me know what you think about this watch, and maybe any other watches you may want to see on the channel. And as always say, don't forget to like, subscribe, and always watch your time. Take care, guys. All the very best.